Hi everybody, it's Kathy here from Kathy Loves to Scrap, coming to you from the land down under, and today I'm playing along with Scrapbook Fantasies Creative Family and their Cybercrop challenges. My first challenge today is lots of squares. So I have created this beautiful layout using their wonderful Springtime Tea Party collection, and it's created by Alicia Redshaw and it comes together just magnificently. This is my daughter at her kitchen tea just before she got married, and it was in a beautiful little high tea, and it was so florally, and I thought these papers were just magic. Springtime Tea Party, as I said, Alicia Redshaw from Scrapbook Fantasies created these, and you can purchase them from her store. These are really good quality papers, and I must say I and ahed about using them because I like both sides. Luckily, I have brought the whole kit and I've got double of each. So today for the squares, I'm using this side. I'm cutting out that frame, and that's my first frame of square. And then I'm also going to use this one here with all the quilted squares underneath. So that brings lots of squares into my layout. And to start off, I'm just adding some faux stitching, cross stitching to give it that quilted effect and to outline those squares. Given that the theme of the challenge is lots of squares, I really wanted to emphasize the fact that that paper had many squares on it. As I said, I'm using this frame here from this page, and that is my big external square. And I'm going to actually pop that up on foam tape because I want it to stand up off the bottom and create like a shadow box effect on the layout. And that adds to that square impression that is needed for lots of squares. I'm going to ink it using the Victorian Velvet Distress ink, and it's just going to give that shadow as well to build that illusion of a shadow box, and that's what I wanted to create with this layout. As I said, these papers are magnificent. The quality is just very good. They're a lovely thick paper, and they always trim up nicely, and they are beautiful to work with. And I must say, I do find that I'm becoming very partial to them. So this frame, as I said, is looking like a box frame on the layout, and that foam tape allows that to happen. And that is expressed foam tape, so it won't biodegrade and it's going to actually hold for a long time. I'm just going to add in little bits of tape into these little bits that I missed because I just want it to be a nice firm frame around the outside of this layout. And already you can see I have one giant big square, and then I have all those little ones inside which are now standing out because of that shadowy effect with that distress inking. Alright, so I'm going to work from here, and I'm going to add more squares, and this is through my photo. So what I've done is I have measured off 1 inches across the top and 1 inches across the bottom, and as I start to work it, I realize that I actually need to work more squares into it. So what I'm doing is every second one I am popping up with foam tape to give a staggered effect to the photo, and I then look at it and realize that I need to cut down the sides the 1 inch and put those into 1 inch frames, and then I actually cut the photo that's left in half to give 2 rectangles. And we all know that a rectangle is a special square. That's what we teach children. Rectangles are special squares because a square has 4 straight sides and 4 right angles, and that is what a rectangle has as well. So technically my photos are more squares on the page. I'm just adding in this row down the side now, and as you can see I alternate this one as well, popping every second one and leaving the odd one flat. That's just to give it a visual effect. Now I've laid it on this cream cardstock, and you can see the spaces between and the effect that it has created. I have to go back and realign because I was just eyeballing it, and it's just a matter of moving them up so that the photo fits and the framing is correct. But as I'm doing it, I'm still not really happy with the cream framework. So I let it sit, and as I work it still starts to frustrate me, and when you get to see the stills at the end, you will notice that I've added in a purple matte underneath the cream. And it's only because I felt when the layout was together that the actual cream matte was sitting just too flat against the base, and I just wanted it to lift off against all that square and the busyness of the page. So now I have lots of squares in my photo, I have lots of squares on the background, and I have the giant square frame. So I think I've met the criteria of lots of squares, although I do add more. So this here is a chippy from Scrapbook Fantasies as well, and it's Wish Upon a Happy Day, and that was perfect for this layout. Now I have done this photo before on a different layout, but that's okay because this one will go into her album. I have the other one for my album, and I still have another photo of that which I have to do for my mum as well. So I'm adding in the little macaroons, and what I did was I fussy cut those into a square out of the paper that was left, and I'm adding those to the corners of the squares. So I'm putting squares on squares, so it's adding another dimension to the layout. And the macaroons are good because we had macaroons at the high tea as well, so they tie in beautifully with the overall theme of the layout. So at first I was going to put its face on, but then I decided that I would add it with a bit of a tilt. And as I did that, I realised that it was still sitting pretty flat. It needed something to lift it and make it stand out a little bit more. So that's when I decided that I probably need another matte, but I didn't do it at that stage. What I do now is I fussy cut out from that square in the middle all the elements that I'm going to use. And I'm going to just add this title, which I painted with faded paint and then topped with spun sugar distress spray, and that gave it that rustic look which tied in with the colours of the layout. So using the leftover bits of the paper, I am now cutting frames, which are more squares, which I'm going to add to the layout by tucking in under the photos. First of all, I'm distressing them with the vintage Victorian Velvet ink, and as you can see, I'm making sure that the squares overlap the squares so that they're not covering up but building more squares within the layout. And that just keeps with that lots of squares theme throughout. I'm putting one to the side of this photo, and I'm also adding one to the base of the photo, so that creates another visual square combination at the bottom. I have fussy cut out the elements, as I said, and those roses are beautiful. I do have that flower at the top, which at the end you will see I go back and change for a rose, just so that it ties in and marries nicely. I did add another frame under that flower at the top, and I'm now just adding some sequins to give it a bit of sparkle and make it special for the theme of the layout. And these little sequins are just very, very cute. So I have now laid it up. You can see here I've got the sequins in that corner, I've got a frame there with the flower, I've got those macaroons over the squares and the frame sitting there with those roses. I have got a teacup full of roses and a rose at the bottom. So I've made this a very pretty layout, but here it is finished as a full layout, and you can see I added another teacup, I changed out the rose at the top, and I also added that lilac-y purple matte underneath to lift it up off the layout. And I'm pretty pleased with my lots and lots of squares on this layout, and it is pretty, as I said. And that paper, the Springtime Tea Party, is just perfect for this layout. So if you'd like some, check out Scrapbook Fantasies. I have got their links in the comments below. They do ship internationally as well as Australian. I'm Kathy from Kathy Loves to Scrap, and I'm scrapping to you from down under. If you like anything, give me a thumbs up. It lets YouTube know that you want to see more of my work. If you aren't already subscribed, please do so. Leave me a comment. I love the feedback. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. You can find me on all my socials under my name, Kathy Loves to Scrap, including Instagram, where all my layouts end up, even those without a video. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. Happy scrapping. Till next time.